Awesome stuff. We ready to begin?
Yeah.
All right, no worries. So today I'm just gonna start, I think the maths portion of the engineering diploma. I think today we'll be going over kind of just a few things. Binomial expansion of quadratics, factorization of quadratics as well. Kind of just managing, dealing with, manipulating various different quadratic equations, and how those can be applied then in engineering. I don't know, do you have much experience like using kind of quadratics? I don't really know your kind of experience with maths, but
I've never done algebra, full stop.
uh, okay, no worries then. That's fine. I just that's no problem. I just want to gauge kind of how I need to explain things and where we can begin. So if I could just tell you to look here, right? So the binomial theorem, right? It's just a kind of example of showing how an equation could be written. So A being a number, B being a number, and then N being like the power, so squared or th cubed, for example. Um, we've got an example of how that kind of expanded. So if I, for example, had just one second, if I just had 4 squared. Um, how would you what would you do there? Like what would you think the answer would be if I was just trying to solve 4 squared?
Isn't square where you just times it by itself?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So 4 squared would just be 16, right? Just,
16.
sorry, yeah, I just to begin with, right? Sorry, one second. I don't know where my yeah, yeah. So we're doing the same thing here, but instead of it being a 4 and just this, it's two different kind of letters, which are just standing in for numbers. And I've kind of gone through the steps of what you would do if you were expanding it. So this written, well, no, what you just said was earlier was great, right? So 4 squared is just 4 times by 4. Sorry,
Yeah.
apologies for the terrible writing, but it is, and that's what I've done here, right? So I've gotten rid of this squared sign and I've expanded it and written it in a more longer form. So it's a plus b times a plus b. And that then gives us this. Now, do you understand how we've got there?
Yeah.
Right. Could you just explain it to me? Just
So
this.
you yeah, so because it's squared, you've took the squared out and just done the sum, which is a plus b times a plus b.
Correct. But then how have we got from here to there?
Uh, so it equals a square.
Hmm.
Uh, to yeah. I don't know.
No worries. That's fine. That's fine. So just well, how I was taught to kind of expand these is basically like you have to times each thing by each other. So you're doing this essentially, and then this, and then this. I think that's very confusing, but I'll explain it. So you do A times A, and then A times B, and you kind of, so that would be A squared, and then A times B is 1AB. And then B times A is 1AB, and then B times B is B squared. So what you then get is when it's combined is A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. Does that make sense? I could write it out, but my writing's just gonna be a bit messy. So I kind of, but if it would help you if I wrote out kind of what I just said, I'm more than happy to.
uh, you try. I don't think I'm gonna get it, to be honest with
No,
you.
no, look, it's that's if you don't understand it, that's me. That's me not being able to explain it properly. So I'll go through it a bit slower because I think I went through it quite quickly. So when we've expanded it like this, is we've got to times this one by this one, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, well, how do I times A plus B by A plus B. That seems too messy. It's too confusing. I don't know how to deal with it. So I'm going to kind of break it down in my head so I can manage it. And the way I do it is I'd look at the first bracket here, right? And I need to times everything in this bracket here by each individual thing. So I'm going to times A by A first. It's just my first thing I'm going to do. And then A times A, I mean, you said this earlier. What's something times itself without having to like solve it? Just kind of the notation. So A times A. So hold on, if I removed A and I put 4 here, right? And then I put 4 here, what would 4 times 4 be?
16.
Right. But what's another way of writing that? If we, just before we were solving that problem and I
So
wrote
that would be
4,
well, it'd be 4 squared then, wouldn't it?
correct. No, exactly. And so
Yeah,
if it was A times A, what would that, how could we write that?
it'd be A squared.
Absolutely, Martin, absolutely. So then we've got that. So then can you understand now how we've got there? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Right,
yeah,
okay. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Perfect stuff. And then what I'm going to do next then is, okay, I've done my A times A now. I'm going to do A times B. And then A times B. So say B is 2, for example. A times B, what's 4 times 2? 8. 8, right?
yeah.
So if I did, but obviously I don't know what A is and I don't know what B is. So I'm going to keep that as just AB. So we then get 1AB from just timesing something by something else. And in algebra, the way of writing things is a bit different. So in numbers, if you wrote 4 and 2 like this, that would be 42, right? Absolutely. But with algebra, when you've written something next to each other like this, and there's no space, it's literally just next to each other, like this AB here,
Yeah.
that means that they are multiplied against each other. So they're timesing each other essentially.
And the 2 before, does that means that you do it twice because it's two sums?
So exactly. So because A times B is 1AB, and then I also am going to do B times A, which is BA, but you can write that also as AB.
A, B, yeah.
And then you add those two together and you get that. So, and then so you understand that A times A is A squared. And then if I
Yeah,
did B times B,
that'd be B squared.
absolutely, right? Absolutely. So kind of just understanding the AB can be a bit confusing because I know it's like B times by A, but then it's still an AB. Um, if you think about it more as AB written as like A, sorry about the writing, it's pretty awful, but so we said A was 4 and B was 2, right? So
Yeah,
AB is equal to this. Oh God, that is poor, but you get the picture, right? So 4 times 2. So,
yeah,
and the A is here and the B is here,
yeah,
right? And that can be written as just an AB. And if I wrote 2 times 4,
yeah. You're right. Two's times four, don't you?
still the same thing, right? But
Yeah,
it can be written differently. So that's why when I say that it's BA, it's still AB because the letters can be moved around as long as it's like the same thing, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah,
And then that's how we've got the two AB because there's two of them.
yeah.
We following? I again, let me know if I'm being too quick or if I'm not explaining anything thoroughly.
No, I think I'm understanding it.
No worries, Martin. I can run through it all again later if you need to be. I'm just gonna clear. Actually, I'll leave that on the screen for now, just to help us out. But so now here's a bit more of a complex one. And this is kind of a cubed. So instead of squaring it, we've cubed it. So we've times it by itself an extra time.
Yes,
Um,
that times three then.
it would so you'd have it's so squared and cubed is something timesing itself by a certain number of times. So
Yeah.
squared is something timesing itself twice, so just one more. And then cubed is something timesing itself another two times, basically. I don't know why this is written as a plus. They are supposed to be multiply, but you get the picture, right? So it's basically what we've done here, but a bit longer. So do you know how we solved for this, right? And we got this, we found this out from a
Yeah.
plus b squared. Now, the way I would approach this is doing the exact same thing. So we started off with, I'm gonna just erase some of this writing, and then we can go again. So I'm going to start with here, and I'm going to do the same thing I did for the one above, and I'm just going to write it all out just so I can see it and it's easy for me to visualize. Um, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing I did for the one above because I can't deal with having to times everything all at the same time. I can't. Too many moving parts going on in my head. I'm not going to be able to picture it. So I'm going to start by breaking it down. So I'm going to times A by A, and then A by B, and then B by A, and B by B, and do the exact same thing I did above, right? And I'm going to get this answer here. But the only difference is that it will be, okay, that is terrible. I'm going to actually have to delete that. But um, what happens is, okay, so sorry, that's really lame. Yeah, so what I've done is I've times these two brackets out themselves, and then I've left this one outside just because it confuses me. So if you look, if we look, right, if I just break this down here, so forget this right part exists, so just literally ignore this, right?
Yeah.
A plus B times A plus B is exactly what we did above here. And we know how to do that, right? So I did that first. I've got this answer here from this little, hold on, I'll just kind of draw another bracket around it. Um, so this sum here has given us this answer, right?
Yeah.
As same as above. And then what I've done is I've stuck on this extra A plus B because it's cubed this time, not squared, right? So there's an extra one. So I've kind of taken the multiplication as a step at a time, right? So I've done the squared one first because I know how to do that quite easily. That kind of makes sense to me. And then I've added on this extra one to deal with at the end. Now, what I would do with this is I would then just do the same thing we did before. So I would do A times this, times this, times this, and then B, same thing, right?
So you do A square times A.
Yep.
So that would be, so that would be the answer. A square times A.
Yep. Now, how would you write that as a more simplified form? Because remember we were saying that a squared is something times itself. A cubed is something times itself again. Now
So
a
you'd write
squared,
that as A cubed then, wouldn't you?
absolutely mine. Absolutely we would. And then if I could just ask you, how would you thinking about writing 2ab times a? So I'll just write this out here.
So wouldn't that just be 2AB with the cube sign on it?
Very close. So because it's yeah, it's quite confusing this, but so it wouldn't be, but you're right with the squared. Oh, sorry, did you say cubed?
Cube. Yeah.
No, no, so
No,
it wouldn't be.
right.
So again, I'm gonna kind of write this out in a different way. So I'm gonna do 2 times 4 times 2 times by 4. Because that's essentially what we've got here. That's just like an example of explaining it. And we were timesing this by 4. Um, we've got a 4 here and a 4 here, right?
Yeah.
And every if we could remove this bracket here because it's just the same thing. It's just 2 times 4 times 2 times 4. And what I would do is I would just, if I wanted to write it in a shorter way, so it's easier for me to just deal with it, um, I would do the 4 times 4. And that's what you have to do when you've got like letters. You kind of, it's called collecting like terms. And like terms are basically just the same thing, right? It's the same thing. So an AB is a term, for example. An A is a term. An A squared is also a term. I know I'm saying a lot of things, so feel free to stop me if I'm saying a lot. But what I would do here is I would times the A with the A, because you've times it by the whole thing anyway, but then you have to collect it. So if I wrote this out, I would be two. Okay, hold on. I need to just erase some things quickly. Um, so it's 2A, B, A. Now I know that's written very badly, but there's no space there, so it's just AB, 2ABA is one thing. But 2ABA can also be written as 2A squared B,
Yeah.
right? And that's what you get. So what we would then do is just what we did above. So does that make sense? I know it's a bit confusing, and it's one of those things that it's kind of hard to explain. It's just a
Yeah.
rule.
So the two A squared B
Yeah.
is after you've added after you've worked out the cubes basically, and so that's the answer to cube then, isn't it?
Not yet.
So you've
So
done the
so
oh, right.
so
So you've done the
so all
first
I'm
bit where you've got the A
A
square and
cubed.
two AB. So then you've made it
Yes, yeah, yeah.
A square add two A square B. All
Yes.
right. Yeah.
Yes, for now, right? For now. Because then if you remember, we also have to times out the B, right? At the end.
Yeah.
So I'm just going through the it's a very long question, and like I think for this degree, this is like probably pretty tough. Like these are like the tough questions you'll have to deal with, I imagine. So then we've got if I can just get this rubber. Um so then oh sorry. Yeah, so now we've got the 2A squared B. Um how I would do it is honestly get another bracket. So um I would do, so we've done A times A squared, and that's A cubed. Oh, that was bad. Um, A cubed. And then we've got the A times by 2AB, and that is sorry, that's 2A squared B. And then we have to do A times B squared. Now, what do you think that would be? So A times B squared. So we've done obviously the first two, right? With the A. So now A times by B squared. So A, just this one at the bottom here.
It would be I don't know. It would be A times B, wouldn't it?
Correct. But how
So,
would we write that if it was like if we were trying to be as neat as like and concise as possible? So what's B times B? We've already got it there written as B squared, right?
yeah.
Then remember I said in algebra, like if you've got a letter next to the letter, that means it's multiplying each other, right?
So it'd be AB square.
Absolutely mine. Absolutely. That's perfect, mate. So yeah, it would be. So then we have plus by A B squared. Sorry. So can you understand how we've got from I know it's a bit obviously I've done it kind of a bit of a confusing way, but if you can see I've done A plus B, sorry, I've done this sum basically here. So
Yeah.
this is A plus B squared, and then now I'm doing the cubed part. So this is A plus B squared, and now we're doing A plus B cubed. And so what I've done is I've times everything by A, just like we did in here, but there's just a bit more things. And then now I'm gonna do the B part, right? So just same thing we did for A, and I'm just gonna do it for B. Um, now, would you? Okay, go on. I'm gonna try and think. I think you got this, right? So B times A squared. It's the same thing as A times
That'd
B
be
squared.
that'd be AB squared then.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So A B squared. Now B times 2AB and B times A squared. While I write it, you try to figure it out.
Uh,
So do B times 2AB first.
so that'd just be 2AB squared, wouldn't it?
Absolutely mine. Yes, it would be. So 2AB squared and then A times A squared. Oh, sorry, no. B times A squared.
Well, that'd be AB squared again, wouldn't it?
Ooh, just think
Would it
about
be
it.
A
Think about it.
squared?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely, it would be yes. So A squared B. Right, perfect. And then if we now that we've got these kind of two brackets, right? We're going to do what I call collecting like terms, right? And it's actually just it's an addition. So we've got it, but it's quite confusing, obviously, because the writing is terrible. But we've got a cubed plus two a squared b plus ab squared plus by ab squared plus by two ab squared plus by a squared b. Now you can see the answer here, right? But if we wanted to, if I could just go through it with you and try and say, I want you to add those two things together. So this bracket and then this bracket here. So a squared, sorry, I'll explain how I would do it first, right? So when I say collect like terms, I want to put things together that are the same. Um, Now, if you were looking at this thing here, what would you say are the same? Like what things are the same from the left bracket and the right bracket?
The what, sorry?
So which things in this bracket are the same as this bracket here? I know I wrote this underneath, but imagine this is just like here.
Uh, Thanks, I can't really make out what you've written, to be honest.
Okay, sorry. No, I don't blame you. It's pretty tough. I'll just try and write it out a bit clearer. Okay, I can't really do much clearer, but it's a cubed plus 2a squared b plus by ab squared plus by bracket ab squared plus by 2ab squared plus by a squared b. Do you know what? It might be easier if I just actually sorry, one sec. If I just type it, I'll keep those in. One sec. Okay, so I'm gonna just type it out here. So A Q oh A Q oh, sorry, one second, Martin. I'll just type this out so it's easier to visualize. Um Okay. All right. I'm just gonna rub out. Oh, okay. So if we look at this here, right? I don't know how to get rid of that, to be honest. Erase all. Oh, okay, right. Sorry, sorry about that, but we're back now. Okay. So, so this is what we had when we expanded it and what we just did, right? And now we want to make this into this essentially. Um, but let's just focus on this one here. Um, and I want to ask you, so if I look at this left bracket, I've got here, and this right bracket, do you see
Yeah,
anything that are the same?
the AB squared.
Right, this one and then this one. Yeah, correct. So if I was adding those two together, what would I get?
Be the next one from cube, won't it?
You say to the power of four.
Yeah.
Well, we're just adding, so we're not timesing. So the
Oh,
only,
right.
yeah, no, it's okay. I think I might have written it wrong actually. That's just what I'm just looking at, but because I don't think the answer's right. Yeah, I've written this wrong. Yeah, I've definitely written this wrong. Sorry, one second, Ryan. Um, so sorry about this. I've just used myself now. I think that's just 3AB, AB squared. Oh my God, sorry. I'm gonna have to write this out myself again. Um, Sorry, I just got to write out the steps we did already. Oh, I understand. I was confusing myself. Okay. Okay. So I've just gone and written out what we had before, basically. Um, so we've got all these numbers basically from here to here, all these little combinations of things, and we want to condense them and make them as simplified as possible. So I want to just look at what things are the same. And you said we had the AB squared, right? Which is correct. So if we look, we've got one AB squared here, and then I've got two AB squared there. Now, as you can see, everything is just adding itself together. So if I wanted to kind of make things as simplified as possible, what would I do with that AB squared and that 2AB squared?
You'd add them together.
Absolutely. And then we just get 3AB squared. Sorry, three, no, wrong one. Yeah, 3AB squared here. Um, So that's this one and then this one added together, right? I'll just erase that. And then can you see anything else that you would group together? So what have we got left, right? We've got this, 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 and then this. So those are the four things we have to then deal with next. So look, we can say that there's only one A cubed, right? There's only one A cubed in the rest of this thing. So we can keep that by itself. There's no way of making that any more simplified. So that's why we've got A cubed here. Because there's only one, right? And it's the same with the B cubed. There's only one B cubed in this thing we've got left, so that's why this is B cubed there. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah.
Right. And then we've got, what have we got left? So we need to get this basically, 3A squared B. Now, we have 2A B squared. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, we've already dealt with this. I'm gonna just erase everything to not confuse us. So the only thing we have left to deal with now is, by the way, when you're doing this on paper or something, it's a lot easier because you can just cross it off, and you can forget about the stuff you've already done. So all we've got left is 2A squared B and then A squared B. And we're going to do the same thing as we did before. Just add them together. And we get 3A squared B. Because there's just one A squared B plus by 2A squared B. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You sure? Because I know I explained that in quite a convoluted way. So, like, if you need me to explain that again, I genuinely don't mind. But it's about kind of making things that are the same go together so that we can deal with them better. Because, if you look at this equation here, it's a lot easier than whatever I've written down here, right? It's just very confusing. And that's why we like to put it in just neater forms like this. Um, I think that's, if everything's okay with that, I'm gonna move on to the next slide.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, Martin, don't feel free to ask. It's just me and you, so we should at least try and get whatever we do solid and you understand it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, no worries. We'll move forward then. Um, so okay. So this is basically when we're expanding things. So do you know how we said we had cubed, squared, and just times to the power of one, right? So anything to the power of zero is one. So 4 to the power of zero is
So
one.
what you actually look, because on my thing, I've got something completely different to what you're showing me.
What?
LO1. Because I've got nothing about triangles, right?
No, it's not triangles. It's the same thing. So it's was what I was doing before, correct? That's what I thought I'm supposed to be teaching. Binomial expansion. It's still this. It's still the same thing. It's just the
Yeah, but
way of visual.
on my course guide thing, I've got nothing about what you're showing me.
Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me talk to my colleague just quickly because I don't think that's right then. Are you doing foundation in diploma in engineering?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is there's a maths element to the engineering. And the thing is that
It
I
just says demonstrate application of algebra,
yeah,
extrain
Yeah.
by it by whatever expansion
Yeah.
fractionization using the principle of. But all I've got for bio whatever expansion is just some sums.
Yeah, that is kind of what we're doing. This is just a way of basically making it easier for you to understand. So I've got this from the course spec, so I'm pretty sure you need to know this. Um,
Yeah, but
but
I
it's
haven't got it on my course, but that's what I'm saying.
are you on the Moodle? Yeah, are you on the Moodle? Hold on, I'll share the screen and I can show you. Um, yes, hold on. Here's your course, right? Here's your course spec. Can you see this? So this is the level 3 foundation diploma engineering specification. And as you can see, binomial expansion is there.
Yeah,
Um,
I've got that. But the thing you showed me, I haven't got on my LO1.
just
You
the
wanna
thing I
go
just
on?
showed you, so the triangle thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Look, it's a way to do what easier, but it's fine if we can skip past it if it's not part of your spec. Um, yeah. When I learned this, when I learned what I was taught, I was also taught this triangle at A level, and it's basically a way of just telling you what to do when, and it's a set formula. So if you're ever squaring anything, it's always going to be 1, 2, 1. So when you square AB, it's always going to be 1A squared, 2AB, and then 1B squared. So 1, 2, 1. And then the same with the cubed. It's always going to be 1, 3, 3, 1. I'll skip it. I'll skip it. It's fine.
No, go back onto it. It's just it's not on here, so I can't thingy with you with it. It's just I
Oh, you
haven't got
can't
it
follow
on.
me. Oh,
No.
okay, I see. It's fine. Well, I'll send you this slide afterwards. I'll send you this PowerPoint so you can have it for your reference. But I think you can you kind of see what we're doing here? So the expansions we just did, you know, the AB squared, AB cubed, we could have done them just so easily because we would have known it's 1, 3, 3, 1. So the 1 being the number of the A cubed, the number of this, this, and
I've not.
then
I've still. You've not changed the screen back.
oh, sorry. Um, there we go.
There we go.
All right, sweet. Sorry. Yeah. So it's 1A cubed, 3A squared B, 3AB squared, and 1B squared. So this triangle basically just lets you know how many of each thing you're expecting. So for each row down you go, you're increasing the amount of times you're timesing something by itself. So one, twice, 3 times. And then each time you got to add another there's gonna be another extra thing that you get. Um, and the triangle just helps you say, okay, I always know I'm gonna have like uh 1A to the highest power, and then 3 of the second value, and then 3 of the second value, and then another one. Um, I'll skip this. I think it's confusing. So I'm gonna get you to do one if that's okay. So if you've got a pen and paper with you, can you just oh, it's already done. Okay, no, it's not. So if you can just expand x minus 3 cubed for me, please. Um, just I'll get some pen and paper and just try have a crack at it, and then we'll go through it and we can hopefully try and piece together anything you might not understand. Is that okay?
Um.
Or do you want to work through it with me? Because I can you can just tell me what to do, and I can I'll I can. Or do you feel like you don't know you wouldn't know how to do that yet?
Yeah, I'm lost. I'm really not understanding this at all.
Okay, okay, no, that's my fault then. That's fine. It's quite tricky to explain over Zoom. Okay. Okay, did you understand the squaring bit? You know, where I said it's this times this times this, and then this times this, and then this times this. Did we understood this bit, right?
Yeah,
Right. Okay. Now, all I'm doing is the same thing here. So with the cubed, it's the same thing. I'm just doing A times A, and then A times B, and then B times A. Hold on, I'll just get rid of everything. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing A times A times B, and B times A, B times B. And then after I've done that, I'm just doing it again with this. So I've already times this together to get A squared, whatever. Wait, hold on. I think I've done it here. Yeah, so we've done this bit, just this bit here. And then we have to times A plus B by this bit. Does that make sense? Because it's squared, so it's timesing itself by an extra one.
yeah,
It's cubed, sorry. So this is the squared. We've done this, right? And then the cubed is an extra one on top. So we've times this by itself, this by itself, and then timesing it by itself again. Because it's 3. So there's 3 of them.
right.
Right. 4 cubed is 4 times 4 times 4, right? 16. It's not 16, sorry. 64. But it's 4 times itself 3 times. So 4 times 4 times 4, right? So if we were going to do 4 times 4 times 4, I don't know what that is quickly. So I would do 4 times 4, that's 16. And then 16 times by 4 is 64. Does that make sense? Okay, look. 4 cubed, right? 4 cubed means 4 times itself 3 times. So what I've written here, 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, look, forget 4, fine. 1 second, sorry. Okay, so but you understand that cubed is, you understand what squared is, right?
Yeah,
Just
I
something times
understand the
itself once.
swearing cube.
Okay, so then this bit is just A plus B cubed, right? So we've done A plus B squared here. We know how to do that. You understood this bit. Like I just want to clarify that we understood that.
Yeah,
Right, fine. We do that again for the cubed. So we do that step first. So we forget that this exists for now, and I'm just going to do the same thing I did, and just this and this, right? Same thing. I get this. Does that make sense? Because it's just this. It's the same thing.
yeah,
Yeah, if there's literally anything confusing you, just tell me and I'll try and explain it, okay? Because I don't quite understand what I'm not explaining right, but I understand that I'm probably not explaining it right. So just let me know if there's anything that I'm not explaining well. Um, so then once we've done this one and we've done all of that, and we've done basically what we did above, we then add in this extra A plus B now, and we times that in as well. So we do the same steps of just A times by, so it'd be A times by this, A times by this, and then A times by this, plus by B times by this, B times by this, and then B times by this. Hold on, wait. I've written it underneath for a reason. I forgot. So look, you can see this is here, right? It's the same thing. I know I've written an uppercase A, but it's the same,
Yeah.
right? Okay, look. So now we've already done these two first. So now these are gone, right? We can ignore these. Then we've got this one left, and we've already expanded this. So this is this, correct? We know that this expanded is this. Hold on. Okay, one sec. Can you still see my screen? My presentation.
No, it's gone.
Okay, one sec. Okay. Um, okay. Can you see this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've done the squared bit above. We understand how this works, right? I've now gone and I've added an extra AB at the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this like this, right? So we've got an extra A plus B on the end on this one. So what do I do here? What do you think I would do here? To like, if I was thinking about solving this. So this is just this, right? Same thing. I've just added an extra A times B. So what did you do for this one? Explain to me what you did for this one, right?
I don't know.
Okay, look, right, sorry. It's A times A, right?
No, I've had enough, to be honest with you. You keep
No
saying the
worries.
same things. It's confused me past lack of concentration.
Got it, understood. No, that's fine. I can understand it's very confusing. It is a part of your course. So what I would do is I'll send you a few YouTube videos, hopefully explaining it a little bit better than me. I'll probably send you a worksheet which you can work through. And then if you have any questions or if you need me to try and explain anything else again, you can always call me or email me.
I'm more confused than before I even started looking at this. You've not really helped me at all. I don't know what.
Right.
I
No,
mean,
and
all I've got for my scenario, I need to work out what is y add 5, whatever the form means, which I don't get what that's supposed to be. I don't get what any of it. But what you've
sorry,
said not really helped at all.
what are you looking at, Martin? If you could just
My
tell.
scenario is from a assignment. So on
Yeah.
my assignment, I've just got to do what is y add 5,
What
simplify
assignment is this for? Can you tell me like the
and
unit or something or the like The name of the like assignment.
It's the scenarios on the assignment for.
Okay, well, 1 second. Just 1 second.
This is what I don't understand what I'm supposed to be putting on the assignments. This is what they normally explain. I don't know. I'm just.
Right, okay, give me 1 second, Martin. Give me Okay, so I'm a new lecturer. I don't think you've had me before, so I'm just trying to figure out where this is.
On
Where I
assignment brief,
Yeah.
you go down, it gives you the brief, and then underneath it gives you the scenarios. So these are what I've got to
Yeah, no, I
include.
understand that, but can you just can you just tell me which assignment are you doing? Because I don't know which assignment you've been set. Um,
It just says mathematics.
right, okay, no, that's fine. That should help me then.
Got where is
Mathematics
it?
assignment. Yeah, no, I've got it. I've got it. 1 second.
Got the unit reference number.
Okay, okay. So which right, I think I found it. Is it the one with the graph on it or no? Is that a different one? It says task 1 of 1. Newton's laws of motion. I don't think that's the right one, is it?
No.
1 second. There should only just be one more, I think. Oh, that's mechanics. Ba, ba, ba. Got it. So okay, I see it now. Hold on. Let me just share this with you, and you can tell me if this is the right one. Um, yep, this.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, no worries. Okay, so yeah, so I was explaining how you do that. So the A plus B is instead of Y plus 5. Um,
That
s-
is that is where's it gone? I need that. So that is the. I can't even say it, but by binomial expansion.
Binomial expansion. Yeah. So it is. Yeah, it's tricky. It's honestly not easy. I so when I come to explaining it, it does take a lot to kind of explain it and understand it. But I think it's quite important for the just the engineering.
I've been an engineer for 20 years and not actually come across any form of algebra.
Well, I guess just for kind of modeling equations and stuff like that. It's I imagine not actually in engineering as such, but what engineer are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I do mechanical, but I've hit a point where now, because I've only had sort of level two and mainly in-house training, they want
Yeah,
all this level three stuff. So
yeah,
it's I'm doing it.
yeah. I
I
mean, I
mean,
think
I have
all this.
seen this sort of stuff, but this, like, algebra is more on the civil engineering side.
Yeah, I think
But
also it's just because it's a qualification. They have to be
yeah,
able to like assess you against something that can be written, and I guess the only thing that can be written for maths that is of a level 3 level is this stuff.
yeah,
Um, So look, I understand that I probably may not have explained it the best, but it's very tricky and it's very long and it is one of those things that, if you're writing out like this y plus 5 to the power of 4, if you were going to write this out and try and solve it, it would take you at least one or two A4 pages just to write everything out that you will need. If you were doing it like step by step by step, like the way that the textbook tells you to do it.
right.
So it's not a simple concept at all, and I understand that. Um,
So the y plus five. What's the four mean again? Sorry.
to the power of 4. So it's like instead of cubed, it's to the power of 4.
It's
So it's
the
timesing
power of
itself
four.
four
So that's
times.
actually the simplified equation for it then.
Yeah.
And then the thingy expansion is working out the
What
long
that?
form of it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So if we were gonna try and do this, the way I would do it is I would break it down into y plus 5 squared. Uh,
The
Let me just
why, so
think.
why,
Sorry.
so on the level of it, why just means one then, doesn't it?
It doesn't mean one because y could be 5 million gajillion. Like it could be y can be anything. Y is just like y, I guess.
So
It's
when you're
y.
working it, why is just its own
Oh,
because
yes. No, no, no.
it's
I
not
understand what you're
squared
saying.
or cubed or out.
It is just one essentially, yes.
Yeah,
So if you treat y as being one, yeah, that's fine. That is actually fine. Because like if mathematically if you treat it as one, it will be the same because then you just have to
it's got
write,
no it's got no value unless you put a value. Unless you say y means 100, y just effectively means y, doesn't it?
yeah, because it's one y. It's one
Yeah,
y. So yeah. But then yeah, exactly. But then you have to kind of when you're writing y, you would have to write instead of so say if y meant two and we did y squared, that means two squared, right? And that means four. But
yeah,
but you would write it as y squared, not four, because we're telling what you would do. Ignore me, ignore me, ignore me. I think
yeah.
I'm just confusing you. But you get what
I
I'm
know.
saying,
I
right?
understand. I understand the square cubed
Yeah,
and the power of four.
yeah.
I get what that means. I think it's
It's just the
just
brackets, right?
jumbles it up a bit. Yeah,
Yeah, it gets very confusing because there are so many. It's especially with this one, right? It's y cubed. You have to times by four. Sorry, not cubed. Y plus five to the power of four. We were just doing cubed, which is to the power of three.
yeah.
So sorry, to the power of four is just an extra step on top of what we were just doing. So it's very convoluted, it's very long, and it is just literally like that. Like the way I did it is
But wouldn't you
honestly
do
probably
that
the
then
easiest way.
by doing it by squared twice to make the power of four?
So, um, yeah. So if you wanted to write it out, it would be y plus five squared times by y plus five squared. Um, yeah. The way I would do it though is I would write it as y plus five four times, and then you would do the y plus five squared, solve that, and then do y plus 5 times y plus 5 squared expanded. So hold on, I'm gonna just direct your attention back to the um 1 second. Just back to the presentation because I'll change it though so that it is y and then we can kind of work with that. Um just 1 second. I'm just going to share this so you can see it. But I'm just going to basically go through this question with you, and then hopefully you'll be able to work with it. Right. We can see this?
Yeah,
Right, got it. So I've written the I've written this out, right? And so we would do the same thing as we did before, right? So the y times by the y, which is y
y
squared.
squared. Yeah,
Yeah. And then I'm gonna do y times by 5, which is
that'll just give you y5 though, won't it?
5y, correct?
5y.
Um, yeah, it's same thing. But you normally put the number first, and then because it's like the number of something, right? So 5y, 5 bananas, whatever, right? So just be before.
Yeah,
Um, And then once we've done, so y times by y and then y times by 5, what do we do next?
Y times by y times by 5. Um, would you then do 5 times by y and 5 times by 5?
Absolutely. So 5 times by y,
Would be 5y still, wouldn't it?
correct. And then 5 times by 5,
Would be 5 squared.
right? But just we could write that as a number because it's just a number. So what would 5 squared be?
Uh, times 20, is it? No,
25.
25.
25. So y squared plus by 5y plus by 5y plus 25. Now we've got two 5y's there, haven't we?
Yeah,
So if what's 5 bananas plus 5 bananas?
10.
10 bananas, right? So it's y. So if I was going to rewrite this in a more simplified form, I would do y squared, because there's only one y squared value, right? It's one y squared plus by 10y plus by 25, right?
Yeah,
That makes sense? Okay, no worries. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put y into this one. So change it back to for our like equation. So just to kind of ignore what I'm doing right now. Okay, so now we've moved on to like a next step. So we've gone from y plus 5 squared, and now this is y plus 5 cubed. So is this left bit here is
yeah,
y plus 5 cubed, right?
yeah,
Now, can you see the difference between y plus 5 cubed and y plus 5 squared? Yeah.
yeah,
So I've added an extra one of these on because we're
yeah,
timesing it by itself another time, right? So
yeah.
then what do you think we would do from here? If we had to then kind of deal with this, like get this into a form like above it, with the y plus y squared plus 10y plus 25.
You'd add
I want,
the y plus 5 to that sum, aren't you? To the
well,
y
it's
squared
it's
at
it's a
10
times, it's a times.
Oh, it's a time.
But we did a times here, right? So we know what to do. We know that we need to do this thing, right? Where we just times y by each thing in the bracket and then 5 by each thing in the bracket. It's all we have to do
Y,
now, right?
so you'd start with y times y squared.
What does that give us?
Y cubed.
Absolutely, right? And then what would we do next?
Y times 10y.
Absolutely. Now, what do you think that would be?
Um, figure this out. So 10. Would
Yeah.
it, um, so you times in y by 10y. It's the number that's confusing me now. The number would stay
Right. But
the
okay, so
same, wouldn't it? But wouldn't it be 10y square?
absolutely. Yes, it would. So yeah, it would be 10y squared. Oh, sorry. 10y squared.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
then y times 25.
which is,
Uh,
remember, treat y like 1.
so it'd still be 25 then, wouldn't it? Times it by,
25, but you still need the y there, right?
so it'd be 25y.
Correct. Because 20y isn't 1, but we could treat it like 1. So if I treat
Yeah,
it like 1, it's just 25 times 1, right?
yeah,
But still write the 1 essentially. So still write the y.
yeah.
Yeah. right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right, good stuff. Okay. So now that we've done
So
y times that left bit,
now
what do
you've
we do want to do?
cubed it, haven't you? But we needed to do it by 4.
Okay, well, hold on. We haven't finished yet, right? Because if
Right.
you remember, we did y times y and then y times 5. But then we also did 5 times y and then 5 times 5, right?
Yeah. So now we need to do 5 times y square.
What would that be?
Wouldn't it be 5y?
Yeah, yeah, say it. You got it.
Is that right? Is it 5y square?
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, because it's just 5 of y squareds, right?
Yeah.
Um, you know the letter thing? You kind of want that second, and then you want the number thing first, right? When you're writing it down. And remember I said when something is like next to something, it just means it's timesing it, right?
Yeah.
Um, and we don't need to find the answer. We just need to put it together. So 5 times y squared is just 5y squared, correct. And then
So
next 5
5
times
by
10y.
10y, that would just be 510y then, won't it?
Well, what's 5 times 10?
Uh, 5 times 10. 50.
Correct, 50y. Because
Ah,
5 lots of like, so say I had a packet of 10 bananas, right? And that's 10y. So a y is a banana, right? I have
yeah.
10 bananas in one packet. Then I've just said, okay, now I've got 5 of these 10 packs, these 10 bags, right? How
Yeah.
many bananas have I got total? 50, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's 5, 10 lots, right? So that's all we're doing here, right? So just say a y is a banana and then
Yeah.
keep
Okay.
that, right? And then then I've got 5 times 25, which is just, you could use a calculator for that, but it's just 125. All done.
Yeah.
So then now we've got, so this then, right? I'm just gonna kind of copy and paste this. Hold on, y plus 5. Right, so I've just copied the answer from there, but I've shortened this down, but that's y plus 5 cubed, right?
Yeah.
All right, man, I'm just gonna go through one more. I'm just gonna go through the cubed one, and then I think we're gonna have to end it because it's been quite a long one. So I'm just gonna go from the next one now. So now we're gonna do y plus 5. Oh,
So is this one then working it out to the power of 4? Because we've done now up to cube,
3.
haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now we got to do one more time, right? So I'm just gonna write it out. Just you think what we would have to do then moving forward, just for the next step. Actually, wait, hold on. I could just
Oh, five. What was this one? Uh,
so I know that's gone to another line, but you can see, I hope, that it's like, hold on, I'll try and just make it smaller. There we go. Um, I hope that's not too small to see, but I've just taken this bit here, right? Same as we
yeah.
did for this one, and I've just added a times by y plus 5 because it's 4 now, not 3, right?
Yeah.
And so,
So now you'd have to do
same thing.
y
Literally,
times y cubed,
what would
y
that be?
times, that'd be y 4, won't it? Power of 4.
Absolutely. So, and then let's go to the next one. So just 10y squared times by y, what would that be?
Um, 10y squared. So you times the 10 by, would that be, no, it'd be 10y by the power of 4.
Ooh, close. It's definitely 10y, What's the power though? Because if I'm timesing y by y squared,
Oh, it'll be cubed.
absolute, no, perfect, perfect. Yes, it would be. So then same thing, 25y by y now.
25y by y. So that was, so that would be 25y square.
Absolutely. Then
Um,
5y squared.
So that would be 5y cubed. Not cubed. Power
Yeah,
of
yeah.
4.
No, no, you're right. No, you're right. You're
Power of
right.
cubed.
Yeah, yeah. Three is cubed. I know three being cubed is a bit funky, but it is. So yeah, look, I think you've got it now. I think you get that, right? I this one's gonna be really long to like just go through the last stage. But look, I think you understand kind of the concept now, don't you?
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So, and I think that you've understood now because you're understanding also how to like, add them together, times them together. You seem like you've kind of got that figured out. I think all I would say is just take your time, double check what you're doing every time you're doing one of these. And I think because you can see how messy it is, right? There's so many things going on. There's so
Yeah.
many lines of working for just this one question, right? So one thing I would say is just use as much space as you need. So give yourself like lines of gaps so you're not going to get confused with what you did
Yeah.
before and what you did afterward, right?
Yeah.
But then take it step by step. So just do one y plus 5 at a time, right?
Yeah.
Um, just like we've done it here. And I think you'll get there. And then same thing, we're just kind of adding the like terms at the end. Then that's all you have to do for that question.
Okay.
Um,
So when I'm writing, because for the
Go on.
assignment, do I still need to explain what bio expansion is and then do the sum for y plus 5 by the
You
power of
won't have
4?
to explain what it is,
I
but
just
you will
have to
have
do the
to
sum.
just have to do the sum, yeah. So we said what is y plus 5 cubed? Sorry, not cubed, to the power of 4. And that would be that, yeah. So look, I understand there's actually a lot of stuff in here. I've got a session tomorrow, I think, at the same time. So I will go through and kind of look at like how I can teach you based on these answers now. So
Right.
tomorrow will be a more kind of should be easier to kind of understand for both of us.
Well, yeah, because I'm running out of time to do because I start working soon. So I'll get up in the morning and do the assignment for Y plus 5, and then I should be in time to go on to the next one with you, if that makes sense. Because I think
Yeah,
I'm going
right,
to
okay.
struggle with, I think the fractionalization I'm going to struggle with as well. I've got
Okay.
a bit of understanding of the lowest common multiple.
Multiple, okay.
Um,
So can you see like towards the bottom there's like the graphs. Sketch a graph with the function f of x.
is that on the assignment?
That's on the assignment. Yeah, sorry. I can you see it. You can see it, can't you? It's like question 7 on your assignment.
Question 7, sketch the graph of factions.
The function f of x.
Functions, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
you're fine. Yeah, so I don't know, would you know how to do that yet or no? I'm just trying to
uh,
gauge. I'm trying to like understand your standing because I think I have to teach that to you over the next few sessions. So I think we've got at least 3 more sessions booked in this week.
yeah,
11 a.m. I think I'm doing tomorrow, day after, and day after that.
yeah.
So
I've
look,
not looked too, so I try and just concentrate on one bit at a time because if I start looking at it, I'll start
absolutely.
getting panicky like I did earlier.
No,
And
I completely
whatever.
understand. I'm just asking so
Um,
that I know what to teach you moving forward. But look, I've seen this now, and I what we'll do is I'll try and teach you basically each question,
yeah,
like how to approach each question. And I think by the end of those sessions, you should be able to do it, and then you should be more than fine.
yeah. I
Is that
think
all right?
I'm confident enough now to write up the Y is 5. I've got
Good stuff.
a better
You get that.
understanding of it now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
look, I understand the start was confusing, but has putting it into the Y plus five made it make sense?
Yeah, because I think we just broke it down because I didn't fully understand what we were trying to do in general, like with the what's it called?
The
I've
A
lost
plus
it.
the triangle, was it the triangle?
No, just generally, I didn't understand what biometrical expression, what we was actually
Yeah,
trying to
fine.
work out.
No,
Because
I know.
when I was reading through it, I was just seeing the
Oh,
sum, and it was just I didn't
okay. It
understand
was just a
it.
lot of letters. There's a lot of letters just on the
Yeah,
screen.
it just doesn't mean
Yes,
it to me.
I understand. I no, no, no. Completely. That's my fault.
Yeah,
Okay, no, I understand. So yeah. So look, if I put it in the reference of the question, would that be
yeah,
a lot easier than moving forward? Yeah.
yeah, because
That's
it'll help me. I
that's
know you're not gonna give me the answers. I've got to work that out. But
yeah. But
if
just
I can compare to
come.
what
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be doing on this, it'll make it a lot easier.
100%. Look, I probably won't solve it like I did this time, but moving forward, I will be able to kind of give you more
Yeah,
contextually appropriate examples. Yeah, that's no
yeah,
problem. All right. Look, Martin, I'm gonna have to wrap up the session now. Is there any
yeah.
last questions you want to ask me, or can I just say, is there is there some can you just tell me questions you want me to go through with you for the next session? And then obviously next session you can give me a few more, but just give me two, three questions you want me to go through with you for next session.
The next one's obviously fractionization, which is still a part of that calculation of the sim. I'm guessing the simplifies, if possible, is the fractionization question.
Yes, kind of. I can explain that. That's fine.
Yeah,
Um,
I think just
so
work if you're all right
we'll
with
just
it
work
to
my way
just
down.
work
Yeah,
down with me with it.
absolutely. That's
Because
fine.
I'll
That's
probably
more
get to a point where it just twigs and then I'll be able to go off and do them, but I'm just
absolutely.
not there yet.
No, no, that's more than fine, Martin. That's why I'm here. I'm here to teach you that. So
Yeah,
don't worry, don't stress about it. Look, I understand today got off to a rocky start, but I think moving forward we should be all right.
yeah.
Yeah, but look, thanks, Martin. I'm gonna end it there.